Well, I had so much fun bringing you this day in history yesterday that I thought I'd do it again today. On this day in history, on September 3rd, in 1783, the Treaty of Paris is signed. The American Revolution officially comes to an end when representatives of the United States, Great Britain, Spain, and France signed the Treaty of Paris on September 3rd, 1783. The signing signified America's status as a free nation, as Britain formally recognized the independence of its 13 former American colonies, and the boundaries of the new republic were agreed upon. Florida north to the Great Lakes, and the Atlantic coast west to the Mississippi River. The events leading up to the treaty stretched back to April 1775 on a common green in Lexington, Massachusetts, when American colonists answered King George III's refusal to grant them political and economic reform with armed revolution. On July 4th, 1776, more than a year after the first volleys of the war were fired, the Second Continental Congress officially adopted the Declaration of Independence. 5 difficult years later, in October 1781, the British General Charles Lord Cornwallis surrendered to American and French forces at Yorktown, Virginia, bringing to an end the last major battle of the Revolution. In September 1782, Benjamin Franklin, along with John Adams and John Jay, began official peace negotiations with the British. The Continental Congress had originally named a 5-person committee, including Franklin, Adams, and Jay, along with Thomas Jefferson and Henry Laurens, to handle the talks. However, both Jefferson and Laurens missed the session. Jefferson had travel delays, and Laurens had been captured by the British and was being held in the Tower of London. The U.S. delegation, which was distrustful of the French, opted to negotiate separately with the British. During the talks, Franklin demanded that Britain hand over Canada to the United States. This did not come to pass, but America did gain enough new territory south of the Canadian border to double its size. The United States also successfully negotiated for important fishing rights in Canadian waters and agreed, among other things, not to prevent British creditors from attempting to recover debts owed to them. 2 months later, the key details had been hammered out, and on November 30th, 1782, the United States and Britain signed the preliminary articles of the treaty. France signed its own preliminary peace agreement with Britain on January 20th, 1783, and then in September of that year, the final treaty was signed by all 3 nations and Spain. The Treaty of Paris was ratified by the Continental Congress on January 14, 1784. Yes, that's an interesting day in history. For September 3rd, let's see what else they have today. Also on this day, in 1777, the Stars and Stripes flies in battle for the first time. In 1943, Allies invade the Italian mainland. In 1914, Pope Benedict XV named to papacy. In 1919, Wilson embarks on tour to promote League of Nations. In 2014, Russian school siege ends in bloodbath. That was awful. In 1861, Confederate forces enter Kentucky. And in 1939, Britain and France declare war on Germany. Those are all things that happened on September 3rd in the past, this day in history, September 3rd. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. Let's see, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and feel free to share this if you found it interesting. Thank you so much. See you next time. Oh, there's another ad, another pop-up ad. I didn't want to do that. Where's 1914? Come on now. You ever visit a website, then all of a sudden, all you get is more ads from that website. I already bought the thing, so cut it out. Okay, where's my 1914?